Okay, cool. I'm trying to find the questions. Hold
I know,
on.
me too. Um,
I have them pulled up if you want me just to start reading them.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so the first question is, why do you believe that the conflict between Tim and Jay escalated to physical violence?
Um, I would say that the altercation got physical because they both approached the situation thinking the other person was in the wrong. And then they automatically started attacking each other. And that kind of created a situation where violence could ensue.
Yeah, as soon as he started walking away and he grabbed his arm, I think from there it was just kind of like end point. It was gonna get bad.
mhm.
Yeah, I think they both kind of like had like a lack of accountability too, um, Tim like thought that like Jay like it didn't matter that like he had a reserved parking spot and like Jay felt that he was entitled to like his spot and like no one else was allowed to like park there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like either one of them wanted to take accountability. And so there was never like a chance for them to solve the conflict. There was just simply an issue.
Yeah,
Mm.
they started off screaming at each other too, so that's already that's already bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think neither of them wanted to be understanding towards each other at all. They were just kind of,
Very lack of
yeah.
eye to eye. They were just, I feel like they're so heated that they didn't want to see eye to eye or even try to like communicate or anything. It was just heated.
Yeah, they didn't take the time to talk and see what happened. They just said, "Oh, well, you didn't have to hit me," and the other one's like, "Oh, well, you're not in my spot."
Yeah.
That's
Right.
tough.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, the second question is how might anxiety have played a role in the conflict?
Um, that's a great question. Mm,
I think maybe for Jay, like he wasn't expecting to like see the bike in his spot, so it probably like it said like he slammed on his brakes, so like it probably just like shocked him and then just kind of like what happened.
Yeah, and it didn't help that he was running late already. And when you're running
Right.
late to something, there's so much anxiety there and stress
So
that's
true.
building up.
Right.
Mhm.
So that
I
added
also,
to that.
I
And he
also
probably got like anxious too, like when Tim like grabbed his arm.
Yeah, definitely.
I
I
also think
think,
that
like, sorry, go ahead.
oh, sorry, no, you're good. I just think that there was an important part in the little script that's in the very first case study, 2.1, where the guy asks him where if he works there, and then he immediately becomes defensive and he goes, "Why are you asking me that?"
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
immediately like that anxiety, like, is this going to affect my job? Like that kind of thing.
True. And then like the name calling, in 9 for Tim says he calls him an ass. I'm sure that was part of it, getting things heated, or maybe
Doing
Jay
like
was
the in like the second line it says like that Jay like recognized him but like couldn't name him. So like
Mhm.
obviously he knew who he was.
Yeah.
But there's no like relationship.
Yeah.
He did get defensive when he asked if he worked there, though. He was like, "What does that matter?"
Yeah.
At-
Yeah, I think that's where that
Well,
anxiety
I
came
think
from.
yeah,
it probably has to do with like if Jay had like a reserved parking spot and like Tim was driving like a moped, like one of them was probably like a higher up like manager, you know? So that probably like Tim knew that and it like gave him like anxiety, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah,
True.
I
Very
just
true.
realized this too. There's a line where one of them says, "Oh, Jay says to Tim, you're screwed. I'm calling the police." That's another anxiety thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Then the next question is what's a possible source of anxiety according to the psychodynamic theory?
Okay, let's go see.
Oh, here we go. Psychodynamic theory has been overshadowed by experimental and cognitive approaches, but is beginning to receive increased attention, and it's from concepts like the ego, unconscious repression, and wish fulfillment. So he might be thinking about his job. you might be thinking about.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
it's gonna
I
be
think like the
out.
ego thing too, like they're both coming from like high egos, you know, by like not taking accountability and blaming each other.
Yeah, very true.
And then
Well,
the physicality aspect comes in.
yeah, and I think I noticed like on the case study, Tim also says, "Stop looking at your bumper. It looks fine. I want your driver's license and insurance." I think someone told me that like
Yeah,
I
I would
would
be
have
offended
felt,
too.
yeah, like I would have been like, "Who do you? What
Yeah.
are you like?" It's not like he's undermining the situation and making his situation more important than the other person.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Comes off really rude.
Yeah, and Tim like also said that like he doesn't care like who he is and was like, "You will fix my Honda."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
And
fighting words.
and
Yeah.
with conflict, it's
For
also
real.
the way you say things as well. The best case scenario would be involving the police just to get insurance and everything like that. But the way that Jay says it is he says, "You're screwed, I'm getting the police."
Yeah.
And that it's not a positive altercation. He's
Yeah, it's
wanting
very
to get the
threatening.
police to get him in trouble, you know?
Yeah. So true. Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next question is, was the emotional confrontation inevitable? Why or why not?
I think that's a trick question because
I know.
regardless, you're gonna get mad if somebody runs into you and or hits your property.
Right. Like they ruined your own property, so I feel like it is inevitable. Like you have to be
You're gonna have some
someone's gonna
emotion.
be like, you
Yeah.
ruined my car, my bike, like whatever.
There's still feelings there, and it's
Yeah,
not happy feelings.
exactly. Definitely. I think even if it wasn't like escalated to that point, there was still gonna be emotions involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, at least like a snarky comment or like a backhanded.
Yeah, and actually that's like the one under it says, could anything have been done to avoid escalation of anger and to inject some positive emotion into the situation? And yeah, exactly. I think that is it. I mean, there's gonna be the emotion, like we said, but I mean, if he wouldn't have been name calling or acting like a little crazy, I think
Or
it would
even
have
just
been,
like apologize and said, "My bad, I really didn't see it there." But
yeah, literally. Yeah. Could have been avoided for sure.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
something that I noticed is that they both got this, they both thought they were supposed to be parking there, but that was never discussed. Meaning that if they both would have realized, hey, we got screwed by the parking company,
Mhm.
then they wouldn't have been fighting each other, which is also discussed in the case study.
Yeah. True.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is, which cultural models of conflict does Tim's behavior most resemble? And then what standards concerning how conflict should be handled does this imply? And then what about Jay's behavior?
Well, it definitely wasn't avoidance. He came head on in that.
Yeah.
Probably escalation then?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like
Definitely
spiraling
escalation.
escalation or something. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, definitely escalation.
Yeah, I think like on both their ends it would be escalation.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, and then how might Jay have framed the conflict so that his frame did not match Tim so closely? What barriers stand in the way of adopting a different frame? I think if maybe Jay kind of like approached it, just being like, well, I guess he kind of did. But like so he said, like, I drove into my spot and didn't see your bike.
Mhm.
But then he said, what was it doing parked there? Like, I think if he like changed that sentence, it would have probably ignited a different type of conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. Yeah, he started out like doing pretty well, honestly.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he started asking him, like, who do you think you are, that things got bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Tim's like frustration and attitude like didn't help Jay's. Like it made it worse.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It says he came in hot. It said, "What's your problem? What the hell did you do to my Honda?" That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of causes a lot of anxiety and fear on the other end. So then it just like starts off going at it.
Right.
But I mean, the whole killing with kindness thing is definitely something that exists, and he could have definitely been like overly nice, and the guy would have felt bad.
I know they could have literally had like just a normal situation unfold instead of it being drama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think he was kind of going there since he did get off his car to try to see the damage. It's just that he was probably stressed, like, oh my gosh, I hit a car, and then the guy comes in screaming, and then it just adds to it, and then it starts to spiral for both of them.
I definitely think anxiety got the best of Jay in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, what, if anything, could Jay have done to forestall the impact of expectancy violation on the conflict? Not sure I understand what that's asking. The impact of expectancy violation.
No. Okay. I'm looking at the book. 3 processes in particular are likely to influence conflict interaction: expectancy violations, attributions about others, and thinking about the conflict. Let's see. The expectancy violations theory asserts that people have both predictive and prescriptive expectancies about others' behaviors. They pertain to expectations about how another will act in a particular situation.
Yeah, so
Mm,
it says in case study 2.5 that Jay was expecting Tim to take responsibility, and when he didn't, that's when he started to get angry with him.
mhm.
So I guess almost expecting people to act worst case scenario kind of prepares you to handle the conflict better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true.
Okay, and then what might Jay and or Tim have done to sort out their mistaken attributes from actual competitive intentions?
Just better communication and not
Yeah.
automatically going based off of emotions and, getting hot-headed. I think that could have definitely helped. Simple communication about it. So instead of it, escalating, it could have been like contained.
I think a better choice of words too. They've been kind of cussing each other out a little bit, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that'll piss anyone off.
yeah.
Or
I think
simply
in the book
bringing
it
in a
also
third
said,
party. Sorry, go
sorry.
ahead. No, go
It said,
ahead.
it said to involve the police like from the start, and it would have kind of like introduced a third party member, and it would have helped.
That's true.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
Very true.
Okay,
And also, yeah, when you have a police with you, like the police with you, you're not gonna
You're not gonna say those words.
yeah, exactly.
Not the fighting words.
In chapter 1, we talked about climate. It's that climate change with the police involved that makes
Yeah,
it.
that's so true. Definitely.
okay, last question. Could the damage done by attribution processes in this conflict have been limited or counteracted?
For sure.
Yeah.
There was a lot that could have been different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think like on both ends, they each could have handled the situation a lot differently.
I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
Definitely don't want to hit Tim's moped, that's for sure.
Literally.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's see. And that was it.
Yeah,
Do we
how
have to
long?
write anything?
No, we just
So
submit
it
this.
looks like I submit a URL to either the Zoom video or to the YouTube upload of the Zoom video, and then I just put all of our names
Oh,
in the
cool.
box.
Okay, it says 15 to 18 minutes.
I guess we could all each go around and explain what we personally would have done in the situation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I can
Okay.
start if we want.
From like, if I was the one who accidentally hit the moped, I automatically would have been like so apologetic because that is my mistake. Obviously, if I didn't see it, and that's never my intention to go and destroy someone's stuff. And I mean, the other person hopefully would understand, and you guys can come to like an agreement. But if I'm running late, if I'm running late and I'm on a mission to get to work on time or something, like you've probably been there too. So please understand. And of course, the communication and better choice of words would have definitely helped.
Yeah, I agree. I would have apologized like from the start. I would be like, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. This is not what I wanted to do. Like it
Yeah.
unplanned. Like, do you want to exchange insurances? Call the police? What do you want to do?" And
Mhm.
just see how they feel about it.
Yeah, I feel like if I was Jay, I would have gotten like a lot of anxiety because like I mean it was his fault. But like if I was Tim, like I feel like you would have to like take a second and like calm yourself and like look into like the other's perspective. Like maybe they didn't see my bike, or like maybe they were like on a phone call, or like something else was like on their mind, you know? Instead of like automatically assuming that they like just rammed your bike.
Mhm.
Exactly. Regardless of who the parking spot belongs to, like he
Mhm.
hit that car, he hit that truck. Like,
Yeah, and especially if they are both having issues with the parking lot or the parking spot situation, then they should go together and want to solve that problem together, you know?
mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, I would have probably been anxious and I probably would have been upset that someone had been parked in my spot, especially if I was already late and I whipped in and
So
then I had to deal with that. So I don't know if I would have been like my best self in that situation, but I definitely would have felt horrible and been trying to solve the issue rather than, make it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone would be their like best selves in the situation, but just like taking a second to like collect yourself probably would have helped a lot.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have anxiety,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I would still be like, just take my insurance and just call the police. I don't want to see you right now.
You're like, I don't want to deal with literally, that's the last thing I want to deal with when I'm already stressed about getting to work as it is, you know?
Right.
Mm,
It's very
Yeah.
true.
yeah.
Especially on a Monday morning, it says. Like
Oh my
I would
God.
feel like I'm done.
I think I wouldn't go to work that day. I think I would have to
Like,
call out and go
I'm
home.
gonna leave
I
now.
would be like, I can't make it into the office.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'd be like, I'm over it today. I'm sorry.
I actually have a black eye now, so he got socked by Tim.
Oh my
Yeah. They both probably literally ended up in HR's office anyway, so
Yeah,
gone home.
that's true. Complaining. Oh my God.
Is
Yeah,
there
that's
any
really
other
good.
questions we need to elaborate on more?
Mm,
No, I think that's it.
I think so. I think we answered them pretty good.
Yeah.
me
Did any of you guys hear back from that other person who's supposed to be in our group?
I'm gonna
No, I wasn't.